It's January 10th, 2026, and this is the Court Gallery. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your lone Lafuso, and it has now been approximately 13-ish hours since the last time we all got together, and I bring to you another selection of interesting cases, this time a little bit from all over this week, mostly from yesterday. Pay attention to the lower left-hand corner for the dates when everything happened. But we're going to start things off with Judge Wolf. And I do know this happened yesterday. And this is a motion to revoke probation that is probably one of the more interesting ones that I've ever seen. It even had Judge Wolf fighting to keep a straight face. And that's saying something if you know Judge Wolf. We'll be going to Michigan for a couple of cases after that. One with Judge DeSanto where she meets a landlord that is a little bit... Well, if you've seen it, you've seen it. If you hadn't, you're in for a treat. Then we're going to Simmons. She's got a witness that has a list of accommodations that must be met, or do they? And then we're going to finish things off with Stevens. And he's not happy with some conditions that he's going to deal with. It all starts right now.
The first case is State versus Cody Hunter Ragsdale. We are ready on that motion to revoke bond. Bring your client around. All right, this is the state's motion. Mr. Brooks, are you ready? All right. Do you wish to put on proof or you want to make an opening statement? All right, call your first witness. If you will raise your right hand and be placed under oath. We'll pull that microphone toward you. There you go. Thank you.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Douglas Carl Jr. Weaver.
And Mr. Weaver, do you know a Cody Ragsdale?
Yes, sir, I do.
How do you know Mr. Ragsdale?
From an incident that occurred at the gas station and pursued to my house that evening. I don't recall the exact date.
All right. Would that have been on October 20th, 2024?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What exactly happened at the gas station?
I went into the gas station around 6 o'clock. Not 6 o'clock. I got off work around 4 o'clock, and I got to the gas station somewhere around there. I don't remember the exact time. I got a 12-pack of beer, I went out to the car, and my buddy's sitting out there screaming and yelling at some dude with a bat in his hand because the guy just spit on my window and got back in his car.
The question is, your objection is on what basis? Hearsay?
There's a DNA swab.
When there's an objection, sir, just be quiet until I can make a ruling on it.
I have no, I mean,
All right, we'll sustain the objection.
can you testify to what you saw?
When I came out to the parking lot, I saw my friend yelling at him, and he was in the driver's seat of the car laughing and pointing at the car and saying he wasn't going to clean it up. He wasn't going to clean it up.
Okay. And did you ever see what what Cody was referring to?
It was a gigantic loogie that had blood in it on my window of my car.
All right, and that's something you actually laid eyes on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and he was saying, I'm not going to clean it up.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
not going to clean it up. Okay. Do you see that person here in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Where is he sitting and what is he wearing?
Right there, wearing a red Hollister sweater.
Okay. And after that, what did you do?
I proceeded to grab the bat from my friend and tell him to please clean it off the window, and I had no problem. I didn't know who he was, and I just had no clue why he spit on my window, and he refused, and then told me that he knows who I am and that I robbed him, and pretty much that he wasn't going to clean nothing up, and then he grabbed some thing out of the door of his car and went to go get out of the car with it and was pretty much telling me he wasn't going to do nothing, and that started calling me B-word and cussing at me, telling me that I robbed him a couple years ago and that he's not cleaning nothing up and that he knows me, he knows where I live and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Did he make any other type of threats at the gas station?
No, sir. He just told me he knows where I live and that he's got something for me is what he said.
Okay. And what did you do after this? How did this end at the gas station?
He went to step out of the vehicle with what I assumed to be a screwdriver or something like that. And I swung my bat at his vehicle, and then I got in my car and went to go leave. And he followed me almost all the way to my house and then turned around. And I don't know where he went from there. But I got home. I told my dad what happened. I was sitting there. I opened up a beer, started drinking it. My buddy that went to work with me had left. And 20 minutes go by, a car pulls into my driveway, and my brother and his girlfriend are outside painting pumpkins. And they tell me there's a car coming down the driveway and there's people getting out of it. And then 5 seconds later, you just start hearing gunshots going off.
Okay. And where were you when the gunshots started?
I was sitting on my couch at first, and then as soon as they told me somebody was in the driveway, I ran out to the porch to see what was happening because I already figured pretty much what was happening.
Had you made it outside before you heard the first gunshot?
No, sir.
Okay. So while you're still in the house, you hear what you think at the time was a gunshot?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what time of day is it when this is occurring?
It was right before it got dark. I don't remember the exact time. It was around 4 something. It might have been a little later than that. I don't recall exactly.
Because this happened in the fall. You said October.
Yes, sir. Right when it was about to get dark. It was like 30 minutes before it got dark or something like that.
Okay. So there's still light out.
Yes, sir.
And what does the makeup of your yard look like? Is it treeless?
There is some trees, but I can see in the fall, because there's no leaves, all the way down to my drive. I can see all the mailboxes next to me and everything down the hill.
But when you exit your house, what are you able to make out?
I see the truck that I seen at the gas station at the bottom of my hill, and there was 2 guys standing there shooting. And after that, my dad went and started running down there with his firearm, and I just tried to get my son and my wife and everybody to the back of the house to get them away from it because I didn't know what was really going to happen. If they were going to run up my hill or something like that. I was scared.
Right. Were you able to make out any individuals?
I couldn't make out individual faces. I just remember seeing the truck that was at the gas station. It was a very easy to remember. That was the same truck because it was a crappy paint job and had a busted mirror on it.
Right. And you said you weren't able to make out the people. Did you see where they were at?
They were...
Like where the shots were coming from?
Yeah, they were about 20 feet behind my gate, like into the driveway where they pulled all the way in, and I could see them standing at the back of the truck.
I think you just said what he's able to see, Judge. That's the
I
question.
think the question is, what was he able to see? And he's explaining what he could see. He said he couldn't see the faces of the people, but he's now describing what he saw. Overruled.
So I seen them standing at the back of the truck, and that's when I told my wife, run to the backyard, because we live in a mobile home, and that's not really going to stop bullets. So I was just wondering, how are we going to get them away from all this? Because I thought they were going to try to like force their way up the driveway or something. And that's the only thing I was trying to do at that time, was save my family from getting hurt.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, were you able to make out with your own eyes how many people, like any other descriptors aside from, you can't make them out particularly, but were you able to make out any descriptors of the people?
I seen a tall gentleman, and he was wearing a black hoodie or something around there. I have no clue who it was, and he was holding a long rifle. It looked like, I couldn't tell anything else with that. And then I seen him, I was assuming somebody on the other side of the car, I don't know who it was, and they were holding what appeared to be a pistol, because like I said, you could see directly into the bottom of my driveway. There wasn't any trees or anything blocking the view. And after that, my dad was running down the driveway, and they started to get in their car and try to leave.
Were you able to make out male or female?
I couldn't tell if it was a male or female, but I've never met a woman that big.
Okay. All right, so one tall individual with a long gun, one other individual with what appeared to be a handgun from your vantage point. About how many shots at that time? Like, how long did this last?
It seemed like it lasted for a long time, but I know it didn't, and it felt like they were just shooting and shooting. But to me, I thought it was around 30 shells. I don't know what was ended up being collected or anything like that, but that's what it sounded like to me, because you could tell they emptied everything they had in their gun before they left.
Okay. All right. And where were you when it's like when the shot stopped?
I was running back to the front of the house trying to see where my dad was, because last time I seen him, he was running down the driveway, and that's when they were already peeling out of the driveway.
So had you had an opportunity at that point to get your family to safety?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And where were they at?
I put them in the backyard. We have a shed back there, and I stuck them behind it.
Okay. And who was all on scene at the shooting?
My wife, my brother, his girlfriend, my son, my mom, and my dad.
And who was all in the house at the time when this started?
My mom, my wife, my baby, and me.
And where were the people outside when you exited the house? Where did you see your family and friends outside?
My brother and my sister-in-law were sitting on a picnic table that's right in front of our front porch, right in front of the driveway, and they took off running to see a gunshot, and really in the car pulling up, and it was 5-6 feet away from where they were sitting, where one of the bullets were recovered.
Okay. And then was there any damage to any property?
There is a gunshot hole in the side of my trailer that penetrated through my dad's bathroom and then went through my dog's cage while he was sleeping in it and hit the gun safe that he has in there.
Okay. I guess was that bullet recovered?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was anybody injured?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you have another incident occur with Mr. Ragsdale?
Yes, sir.
All right. Would that have been on in February of this year?
Yes, sir.
All right. What happened? Where did this incident happen?
It happened at Thunder Alley, the bowling alley.
Okay. And going back, your house, where is that located?
It is approximately 20 minutes from the bowling alley.
Okay. And that's where
Mr.
this.
Brooks, did I understand you to say it was February of this year?
Yes, sir.
Well, since February hasn't arrived in 2026.
I'm sorry.
just wanted to
February
clarify for the
2025. Yeah. Thank you, Judge.
We
My
were,
calendar hasn't switched yet.
we were time jumping or something.
Yes,
so-
sir. No, my internal calendar has not reset yet, apparently.
Gotcha, okay.
So February 2025. Okay. The shooting, what was the address of this shooting?
1454 South Bear Creek Road.
All right. Is that located here in Dixon County?
Yes, sir. It's on the Dixon County Bonacqua line.
Okay. Now, where did this next incident happen in February last year?
It happened in the Thunder Alley, the bowling alley in Dixon.
Okay, that's located here in Dixon County?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What happened at Thunder Alley?
I was bowling with my friends all night long, and then some lady came to my table and started asking questions about me. and asking if I was DJ and all these weird questions. And I pretty much talked to her for a minute and then told her I didn't want to talk to her anymore. And an hour maybe goes by, and I get up and went to go do my last bowl because we're about to leave. And I saw Mr. Ragsdale walking towards the snack bar because he was heading towards the door. And when he looked at me, he put his finger up and then said something to me. So I said, I have a restraining order against you. You're not supposed to be here. You need to leave. And then he starts cussing me out and just saying all sorts of weird stuff, and tells me again with the lady I'm with that that he knows where we live and that he's not done pretty much with us. And when he was going to the door, he stopped and turned around and pulled his shirt up, showing he had a gun in his hip, and then started air humping, like thrusting in the air.
Right. And when he displayed his firearm, how did that make you feel?
It made me scared that he was going to wait for me to leave the bowling alley and then try to shoot me.
The person that displayed his firearm to you that made the humping motions in the air, do you see that person here in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Where is he sitting? What is he wearing?
He's sitting right there, and he's wearing the red Hollister sweater.
Okay. Was somebody with you that day?
I was with 3 friends.
Okay. And who was was anybody standing near you when he displayed his firearm to you?
Yes, sir.
And I mean, you kind of gave a paraphrase of what he was saying. Do you know any specifics of what he was saying that day?
I think he was drunk, so he wasn't making very much sense to me, and I really didn't understand what he was saying, but I don't know for sure. And he was pretty much threatening the woman that was with me more than me that time, because she was getting in his face and telling him, you need to leave, you need to leave. And he was making more threats towards her, saying that he's not the one, that he'll get something for the same thing he said to me at the gas station.
Okay. So, you said he seemed drunk. What do you mean by that?
He was pretty much stumbling around and slurring his speech when he was talking to me. And then based off of the humping the air in the middle of a wheelchair ramp, I'm assuming that might be a part of that, unless it's just mental error.
Did that end your interaction with Mr. Ragsdale that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what time of day was that at the
It
Thunder Alley?
was 8 or 9, somewhere around 8 or 9 at night, because we were about to go to Applebee's.
All right. And that incident several months after the alleged shooting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That's all I have this witness, Judge.
Leon, you have questions?
You said that your name is Douglas Weaver Jr., is
Yes,
that
sir.
correct? But Douglas Weaver Sr. also lives in
Yes, sir.
and that is your home, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you testified that you did not know Mr. Ragsdale and never seen him before.
Not to my knowledge.
And how was it that you were able to provide the name of Mr. Ragsdale to the detective in this case?
The picture we had at the gas station, we showed it to a lot of people, and we showed it to the friend that was with me at the gas station's wife, and she had rode the bus with Mr. Ragsdale for a couple years.
Okay, so you talked to, who is that person? Who did you talk to and gave you the name of Mr. Ragsdale?
Gannett, so I don't know her last name, but it was the picture that I had from the gas station I showed, and she said that is definitely him.
Okay, when did you get that picture from the gas station?
I do not remember the exact day that we went and got the picture. I think it was the day after the shooting.
Were you with the detectives in that?
No.
Were you with the detectives when they reviewed the footage?
No, sir.
You have talked to the detectives and law enforcement on many occasions in this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and approximately how many times do you think you've talked to a law enforcement officer regarding this?
3, 4.
Okay, and do you recall when you actually told them that you knew the identity?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how was it that you knew that where Mr. Ragsdale lived?
Because he rode the bus with my neighbor.
What's your neighbor's name?
Gannett, I don't know her last name. She's Spanish.
How long have you lived there?
I've lived at my house for 11 years.
Okay, and how long does Lynette live there?
Probably 10.
Okay. And you don't know her name?
I don't know her last name. I'm not Spanish, sir.
All right. You know it and you're just not answer the
Alzer
question.
Perez, you want me to spell it out for you? I don't know how to do that either.
And so you just started conducting this independent investigation based on what was your description of the person?
Yes, sir, based off the fact that I had a picture of his tattoo on his forearm, and then he has the tattoo on his forearm.
Okay.
Kind of made the dots connect.
And you're saying that she happened to know Mr. Ragsdale, recognized the tattoo, and told you where he lived?
No, she did not recognize the tattoo. She recognized his face.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear. You said that you did not, at no point did you see Mr. Ragsdale or was able to identify Mr. Ragsdale at your residence the night that it
Not to
got
my
shot?
knowledge.
Okay. Because you were in the house when the shooting started, is that correct?
Yes, sir, I was sitting on the couch right next
Okay.
to the front door.
And when the shooting started, you were, I guess you have a son. Did you tell me you're a son?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you took the son and everybody that was in the house,
Yes, sir.
and you got them out of the house back behind a shed. And by that point, had the shooting stopped?
It was still going while they were running, but when I got back around to the front of the house, it had stopped.
All right. So you were running to the front of the house, and that is when that's when you said you were able to identify Mr. Ragsdale truck,
Yes, sir.
or the truck that you had seen earlier at the gas station.
Yes, sir.
You were able to see that truck leaving the premises?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you say how far they had backed into the driveway?
It was after my gate, which is about maybe 25, 30 feet, they backed in another 20 feet. So it's approximately 50, 60 feet into my driveway.
Okay. So it's about a third of the way up the driveway?
No,
No?
my driveway is very long.
Oh, is it?
It wraps around a big hill right there, but you can see all the way down the side of it. It's just a little plot of land right there.
I guess as the bird flies, how far from where the truck, the maximum it entered into your property, how far was that from, say, the front of your trailer?
No, 75 feet, maybe 70 feet.
Okay. And I haven't been out there, but I'm visualizing, are there a lot of, is it open front yard, or are there trees in the front yard?
There is trees.
Lots of trees?
Nah.
No? Is it enough trees that where you don't have to cut the yard?
We don't usually cut the trees or the yard.
Okay, because the grass just doesn't grow under the amount of shade that it gets.
No, because
No.
it's in the woods.
It's in the woods. Okay, so you would then agree there's a lot of trees there, right?
I guess.
Okay. How many would you estimate? How many trees you have in your front yard?
10.
10. Okay. Now let me take you back to the gas station. At no point did Mr. Ragsdale get out of his truck?
No, sir.
Once you were outside, you don't know if he got out before?
No,
why
I
you-
know he got out before.
Well, you were in the store, right?
Yes, sir.
You didn't see him get to the store.
No, I seen the passenger of the vehicle come out of the store.
Okay, all right. But Mr. Ragsdale, you never saw him outside the truck.
No, sir.
And you asked him to go clean up spit on the driver's side
Yes, sir.
window of your vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And he said that he wasn't going to do it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You actually went and got some paper towels from somewhere?
Yes, sir.
All right. So is it fair to say that kind of ticked you off a little bit?
Yes, sir. And if he would have just been a man and wiped the damn window off, then it would have stopped a lot of aggression. But the threatening was what really started the aggression.
It would have stopped a lot of aggression on your part, right?
No, his part.
Okay. Well, you said that you had grabbed the bat before you asked him to wipe the spit off.
No, I did not grab the bat before. I did not
Okay.
say that.
Well, then when he refused, then you
Yes,
got
sir, I
more
took the bat from my
aggressive
friend.
and took the bat from Cameron.
Yes.
Now, Cameron was in the store with you as well.
No, he was not.
No, he didn't go into the store at all
No,
with
he
you.
was in the parking lot.
Okay. The entire time?
He might have went in, like I said, I do not recall exactly.
Okay. So you don't know if Cameron saw him spit on your car or not?
Yes, I do know.
Because of what Cameron told you?
Yes.
But personally, you don't have any personal knowledge that Cameron knows that he spit on your car?
No, but I trust my friend.
And you trust your friend to the point where your friend already has a bat
Yes, sir.
out. And what's he doing with the bat?
Trying to get him to clean my window off because what kind of sane human being spits a bloody loogie on someone's window?
And you thought that was appropriate?
I don't know what's appropriate because that's not my say-so.
Would you consider a bat a deadly weapon?
Yes.
Okay. And what was, how do you get someone to clean spit off your window with a bat?
I asked him to clean it off, and then he pulled his little shiv out, and that's when I started to use the bat as telling him, hey, you're not going to get out of that car and try to stab me, sir.
Well, no, the question was, you were trying to force him, Cameron was trying to force him, and then you were trying to force him to clean spit off your window, correct?
Yes, after he assaulted my vehicle and vandalized it. Yes, I did.
Okay. He assaulted your vehicle.
And vandalized it. Yes, he did. He spit on my vehicle, and that is disgusting, and I don't know what diseases he may carry.
Were you going to use the bat?
No.
Okay. But you did use the bat.
After he tried to get out of the car.
And vandalized his vehicle.
After he spit on my car, yes.
No, it was after you took.
After he, yes, I
took the
said
bat
yes,
into
after
your
he
hand.
tried to get out of my car.
Hold on just a second. Wait until he finishes asking his question before you begin answering it, and you will let him finish his answer before you ask the next
Yes,
question.
sir.
And this is somebody you don't know at all, never met him before in your life.
Not to my knowledge,
All
for
right.
the fifth time.
You have a bunch of run-ins with complete strangers like that?
No, sir.
No? You don't have any kind of record of assault or anything like that?
No, sir.
All right. And so I guess back to the question, you were going to threaten or intimidate him
Yes.
with this bat so that he would get out and clean spit off your window?
Yes.
Okay. And in doing so, you struck his vehicle.
Yes.
And knocked the mirror off the driver's side door.
Yes.
The same door that he's sitting beside
Yes.
in the driver's seat. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that you hit the mirror because he actually pulled a knife out of his pocket.
No, I did not.
No. Okay. What did you say?
I said that he pulled something that appeared to be a screwdriver out of his pocket.
Screwdriver.
That's what it appeared to be.
Now that's pretty important. Did you tell the?
That is what is wrote down in the report.
Did you tell the police a screwdriver?
Yes, that is what is wrote down in the report.
Okay. Have you written your own report?
When I wrote my statement, I said what looked like a screwdriver, and he was using it as a knife, trying to use it as a knife, holding it in his hand like this.
Okay. And sitting in his.
Yes, he made sure to wait until I got out to the parking lot before he left because he wanted to see me looking at the spit on my window.
Okay. So wrapping that up, he still never got out of the truck, did he?
No, sir.
This entire incident, and you get in your vehicle and leave.
Yes, sir.
And Cameron gets in on the passenger side.
No, he was in his own vehicle.
Oh, he was driving.
Yes, sir.
Your vehicle.
No, he was driving his own vehicle, as I just said.
Okay, so he didn't ride to the store with you.
No, sir. He followed me.
Okay. And you've been drinking?
No, sir. I just got off a 12-hour shift.
You say you started drinking once you got home?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the night of the bowling alley, were you drinking that night?
Maybe 2 beers by 4 hours.
And you were with your son?
No.
No? You said the female that you were with.
Yes.
Okay, was that a girlfriend?
No, sir.
Okay. Just a friend.
Yes, sir.
And who else were you with?
2 of my other friends that I go bowling with every Thursday.
Okay, what are their names?
Logan Work and Wade Lepowski.
And what is your friend that's a girl, what was her name?
Jennifer Fisher.
And you said that Mr. Ragsdale was with a girl.
He was with a few people. I don't recall who any of them were.
And you know how many people he was with?
Maybe 4, 3, I don't know.
Okay. And one of those was a girl, correct?
Yes, sir.
Or at least one was a girl.
Yes, sir.
And that girl came over and wanted to talk to you.
Yes, sir. She started initiating a contact with the other female and then started talking to me, asking me what my name was.
Okay. And she didn't, well, I'll withdraw that question. You didn't know if Mr. Ragsdale had sent her over there to talk to you?
No, sir. At that point, I didn't even know Mr. Ragsdale was in the bowling alley until I had went up to go bowl and he was leaving.
Okay. And you said y'all were almost getting ready to leave. You're
Yes, sir.
finishing up.
Yes, sir.
And I wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. Where did the only time that you said you saw a gun at the bowling alley
Yes, sir.
in Mr. Ragsdale's possession was when he was leaving and he lifted up his shirt?
Yes, sir. And then he started thrusting the air repeatedly for about 20 seconds.
Sometimes you talk a little fast for me. He was leaving and what?
He started thrusting the air for about 20 seconds with his shirt pulled up, and he just stood in the same spot in the wheelchair ramp.
He was doing what with the air? I'm sorry.
He was dry humping the air. Like he was pretty much telling me he was saying F me.
Like this?
No, like he was getting down on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Must be a new term.
Yeah.
So would you call that like some kind of sexual innuendo?
I don't know what it is. It was very disturbing, and it made me scared because I was about to leave the bowling alley, and I didn't want him to sit out there and wait on me to leave and try to do something outside in the parking lot. So I immediately called the police.
Okay. And you're saying with him doing that and making some kind of thrusting movements with his hip, you were able to see a gun?
Yes, sir. He made it very clear to show the gun.
Okay. And were you able to describe the gun?
It looked like a black handgun from what I could see. It was just the back of it hanging out, a little bit of it.
Okay. Did you have a gun?
No, sir.
At your house?
I did not.
Okay. And when he was making these thrusting, that's the only time he indicated, or that's the only time you could see him with the gun.
Yes, sir.
He didn't pull it out, he didn't touch it.
He had his hand on it when he was thrusting. He pulled his shirt up and held it up with his arms like this, and then had his hands on his hips.
Okay. Is that because his pants are baggy? Or?
Probably because he doesn't know how to wear a belt.
Okay. Just a couple more questions. You said you had a restraining order against him?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When did you take out a restraining order?
It was maybe a week after the shooting had occurred. Actually, I'm pretty sure the detective helped me make sure the restraining order was filed, and we had somebody that was supposed to be watching over my house for a day or two to make sure he didn't come back.
Right. This is the very first time you've ever testified in any of this,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
You didn't testify at any kind of restraining order hearing or anything like that?
No, sir.
And you went back and looked at the video at the market. Did you go back and look at the video at the bowling alley?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. That's because you said you already knew who the perpetrator was.
Yes, sir. And I called the police, and I figured they would handle everything from there.
Okay. And the girl that was with you,
Yes,
not
sir.
your girl, not a girlfriend,
No,
but
sir.
the girl that was with you that bowled with you that night, correct?
Yes, sir.
And had she been drinking?
She had one beer. She was driving that night, so she wasn't really drinking.
Okay, but you were drinking.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, were you intoxicated?
No, sir.
No. All right. She was so intimidated that she followed Mr. Ragsdale out of the bowling alley, didn't she?
No, she was telling him to leave because he was taunting me, and she knew that she didn't want me having any interaction with him at all because of the already pending case.
Oh, or are people able to tell you, hey, calm down?
Yeah, I was more or less scared than I was upset. I wasn't very angry or anything. I was actually scared for my life because I didn't want to leave and then him try to do something to me in the parking lot. That was the only fear I had.
It seems like you, instead of backing down or letting it slide or reporting it to the police, it seems like you react physically. Is that fair to say?
I did not at the bowling alley.
You did not do that at the bowling alley?
No, sir.
Okay. You got kind of upset the last time we were in court and came out and some pretty
When
aggressive
Cody looked
stuff.
at me dead in my eyes, yes, I did get a little upset, and I think it is a little disrespectful to have the victim walking out to the parking lot with a man who just shot up his house. Would you
Well-
guys do that with a rape victim?
We were already outside, correct?
Yes.
And you saw us outside.
And then Cody turned around and made eye contact with me.
And we were well down the sidewalk when you made
No,
sure
you
that
guys
you
were,
walked
like,
within
right in
feet of
front of the
us.
door.
One at a
officer.
time, please. Wait for him to finish his question before you begin answering.
We were 40, 50 feet from the front door, and you walked within feet of us and said something to him first. Did you
You
not?
guys were in the sidewalk on the way to my vehicle. Standing in the sidewalk on the way to my vehicle.
All right. You knew that we were trying to avoid you, right?
No, it made it seem like you were just standing on the sidewalk in the middle of, in the front of the building.
No, we tried to avoid you up here inside the courthouse and inside the courtroom.
I did not see Cody that day because when I came in here, I was told I had to leave the courtroom because there was no room.
Okay. No further questions.
Mr. Brooks, you have a redirect. Thank you, sir. Mr. Weaver, you may step down, have a seat in the courtroom. You may call your next witness. Step up, please. Come around, raise your right hand, and be placed under oath.
You please state your name for the record?
Officer Joel Moss, City of Aaron Police Department.
Okay. Where were you employed on or about February 13th, 2025?
As a police officer with the City of Dixon Police Department.
Okay. Did you have an occasion on that date to respond to Thunder Alley?
Yes, sir.
Is that located here in Dixon County?
Yes, sir.
What brought you to Thunder Alley?
We were dispatched to a possible aggravated assault.
Okay. And what was your participation in that investigation?
As the initial officer and the investigating officer for that assault.
Okay. And where did you initially go as part of your investigation?
I responded to Thunder Alley. I made contact with the victims. I'd have to glance up my affidavit to get their exact names, but I made contact with the victims and also witnesses, got their statements, got the suspect information to include his vehicle information, put out the information over the radio for be on the lookout for on his vehicle, so that way the other officers could start looking for his vehicle. Then I left Thunder Alley and we started searching for the suspect's vehicle.
And were you able to eventually make contact with the suspect?
Yes, we were. And officers initiated a felony traffic stop at close to Highway 46 and the interstate. And we placed Mr. Ragsdale in custody.
You say Mr. Ragsdale. Do you see, are you referring to Cody Ragsdale?
Yes, sir.
Do you see that person here in the courtroom?
Yes, sir.
Can you describe where he's sitting and what he's wearing?
He's wearing a red shirt, sitting next to the defense attorney.
And when you first make contact with Mr. Ragsdale, does he make any statements?
He had made a spontaneous utterance to Officer Hagewood, advising that this was in relation to Thunder Alley. We had also located a semi-automatic handgun on his person.
So before questions ever asked, he said, "Is this about Thunder Alley?"
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said a handgun was found. Where was that located?
In his jacket pocket.
Okay. And can you describe that handgun?
It was a semi-automatic pistol. I would have to glance at my affidavit to get the exact model number due to the length of time since then, but I remember it was a semi-automatic pistol.
Okay. And did he give you any issues as he's been taken into custody?
Yes, sir. He refused to get in the back of the patrol car when I tried to place him in it, and we eventually had to utilize my OC spray him with it, then get him in the back of the car, and he continued to cuss us out. Had to push him into the back of the car forcibly to get him into the back of my patrol car because he did not want to get into it.
So how did he resist?
He kicked at the door and was pushing on the seat, refusing to get into the car.
Okay. Did he make any other statements in regards to the incident at Thunder Alley?
I do not recall.
Okay. Did you make any Any other observations about Mr. Ragsdale at the traffic stop?
As I recall, he was under the influence of, I'd have to double check my affidavit, but
Would you like to refresh your memory?
Yes, sir.
Judge may I pass up his warrant?
You may.
Were you able to refresh your recollection?
yes, sir.
When you say you think he was intoxicated, like, I guess what led you to believe that was potential?
He smelled of the odor of marijuana.
Okay. And I'll ask the question, like, did y'all do any field sobriety task or anything of that nature?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there any reason why y'all didn't y'all didn't pursue a DUI investigation?
I didn't see him driving, so
Okay, so
Yeah.
that would have been another officer to pursue that if that was the case.
yes, sir.
Okay. That's all I have this witness, Judge.
We got any other questions?
Well, I take that, you weren't the officer that stopped the vehicle, correct?
No, sir. I responded as the backup officer.
Okay, and I guess that response to the stop of that vehicle, you know about how much longer that was after I guess your arrival at Thunder Alley?
I do not recall.
Okay, but were you the first officer on Thunder Alley?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so your involvement in this case deals directly with Thunder Alley and then the stop where some marijuana was found.
Yes, sir. And the firearm.
Okay. And did you interview Mr. Weaver Jr. at Thunder Alley? The younger gentleman that is one of the victims at the earlier shooting at his trailer.
I do not recall if he was one of the victims or not at Thunder Alley.
Please. You don't know if you interviewed Mr. Weaver?
He was the younger gentleman that I saw come in who was interviewed or on the stand before me. Is that correct?
Let me go off on a different direction. Maybe we'll get there. You did interview people
Yes.
at Thunder Alley. Okay. And from those people, you were able to get a description of the car,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And you put that description of the car out.
Yes.
And at some point in time, you were told that, based on that description, did you, and based on your be on the lookout, did you say that this individual could have a weapon?
Yes, I did, because based on the interviews from the people at Thunder Alley, he had lifted up his shirt after an argument and showed the firearm, which was under his shirt. And the argument was based on allegedly Mr. Ragsdale had shot up a house of some of the people prior to
Okay.
the incident at Thunder Alley.
All right. And tell us what you remember. Do you recall who it was that told you about him lifting up his shirt?
I have the name written down in my affidavit, as I recall.
Okay. I didn't read the whole thing. I didn't want to delay the court, but I'm going to let you find out. Refresh your memory.
All right, so Mr. Weaver advised that Mr. Ragsdale approached him and lifted his shirt, displaying a gun he had on his hip,
Okay.
and put his hand on it.
And so now that refreshed your memory, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And do you remember Mr. Weaver Jr. saying that Mr. Ragsdale approached him?
Yes.
Do you remember Mr. Weaver Jr. saying anything about him observing the firearm while he was doing some kind of thrusting motions with his hip?
He said he had lifted up his shirt and placed his hand on the firearm, which was located on his hip.
Do you remember any kind of thrusting motion or any kind of
I do not
Bulgaria
recall
or
that
anything like
exact
that?
statement, sir.
Okay. Would that have been important for you to include it in a report?
It might be on my main report, but for the affidavit, which states probable cause, no, that was not important.
You did do a report.
Yes, sir, I did a full report
Okay.
to include victim statements.
Okay. And you, did you ever talk to Mr. Weaver Jr. after this incident?
No, sir.
Okay. So that's the only night that you've ever interviewed him?
Yes, sir.
And it was strictly about Thunder Alley?
Yes, sir.
And what he alleged to you as an assault by the display of a deadly weapon?
Yes, sir. And then follow-up investigations have been conducted by the detectives division.
What was his intoxication level, do you think?
I do not recall.
Did you smell any alcohol in him?
I know it was in a bowling alley with a bar, so I don't recall whether he was intoxicated or not.
And were you aware that, and during their statement, or anybody that you interviewed that night, were you ever told that someone followed him out of the bowling alley?
I do not recall, no.
And last question, did you secure the video at the bowling alley?
We were unable to retrieve it.
What happened?
I contacted Thunder Alley a few times. I was not able to get the video from them.
They had cameras, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and they had those cameras functioning that night?
The people working that night weren't able to get the video that night.
Okay, but you asked them for it that night?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then you followed up about how much longer after that you followed up?
And the following few nights, Officer Purtle, who was also a security officer there, tried contacting the owner, trying to get a hold of them to get the video as well.
And you took the lead in this Thunder Alley investigation, right?
Yes.
Okay. And they told you, what was the reason that they didn't have the video anymore?
I do not recall.
Okay, but you would have put that in your report, that you attempted to get the video and they were unable to provide it for whatever reason.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Brooks, any further follow? Thank you, Officer. You may stand down. Mr. Brooks, you may call your next witness. Step right around here. Raise your right hand, be placed under oath.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Detective Jim Gardner,
And where are you employed?
Dixon County Sheriff's Office.
And what is your position?
I am a detective.
And were you employed in that capacity on or about October 20th of 2024?
Yes, I was.
Did you have an occasion to respond out to an address on a shooting?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember what the address was?
It was on South Bear Creek. I don't recall, 1159, something like that. I'm sorry.
Pull that
I'm sorry.
microphone base toward you, if you can pull it close
Yes.
to you as possible.
It was on South Bear Creek. I don't remember the mailbox number.
Okay. If you would have wrote in your warrant 1454 South Bear Creek Road, would that
Yes,
be
sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that located here in Dixon County?
Yes, sir. It's in Dixon County.
And that was in response to a shooting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you get to the scene, what is your role?
I was on call that night, and I was dispatched out there because patrol was out there because the Weavers had called in and reported the incident.
Okay.
I was out there to investigate.
And was there evidence, once you get on scene, was there evidence of a shooting?
There was, it was 20 spent shell casings I recovered from the driveway. Yes, sir.
Okay. In the driveway area, you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You've heard Doug Jr. testify this morning. Would his testimony be consistent with where these shell casings were
Yes,
found?
sir. They had a gate that was approximately 20, 25 feet from the main road. maybe another 20, 30 feet from that is where there was evidence of vehicle tire tracks in the gravel, and on each side of the vehicle is where the shell casings were picked up.
And were they all, I mean, were they located in one area?
Yeah, it appears that wherever they were fired from, the rifle and gun were in the same location because they were all discharged in the same spots from where they would have been standing.
Were there any indications in the driveway as far as a vehicle, were there any signs that a vehicle came to rest at that area?
There were, in the gravel, you could see where a vehicle had backed up and pulled forward. It was too big a gravel to get a tire track, a tread mark from it. But you could see the one had backed in there and then taken off, and it had spun just a little bit. So you could tell that it was consistent with what was reported.
Was there any damage on the property consisting with shots fired?
In the residence, we found, on the exterior of the residence, there was a bullet hole in the siding of the trailer going into the residence to where the bullet would have entered the residence. There was a hole in the wall, and then we found a lead bullet laying there on the side where it had hit, excuse me, the side of a gun safe that was there, and it come to rest, its final rest, right there on the carpet and on the side of it.
And was that collected?
Yes, sir.
As far as potential victims, who was on scene when you arrived?
When I arrived on scene, there was Mr. Weaver, junior, senior, the wife, his other son, I can't recall his name. There were 7 people on scene when I was there.
Okay. And then, was anybody injured?
No, sir.
Okay. How are you?
Getting back to the bullets, there was another bullet that was located in the side of a tree, but we attempted to dig it out and couldn't recover it. But it was a fresh hole, and the bark was missing. So there was two bullets that we found up in and that was right in front of the house.
Okay, so that tree, would it have been between the house where these people were allegedly at and where the evidence of shell casings were at?
Where the vehicle was parked, their driveway went around, and the house was parallel to the road, and that tree was between where the vehicle was parked and where the residence is at.
Okay. How were you able to develop a suspect in this case?
That night, they advised that there was 2 people that was identified as, they didn't know who they were. The following Monday, when I went out there, the store had allowed them to see the video, and they were able to put a name on Mr. Ragsdale.
Okay. Now, were you able to view this video?
I was able to get it that following Monday, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you heard Mr. Weaver's testimony concerning the incident at, is it Tuffy's?
Tuffy's Market,
Yeah, okay.
yes, sir.
That's how I know it. Tuffy's Market near the Bon-Aqua-Dixon line?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You were able to view that video?
We didn't see it that night. There was another employee, and he didn't know how to operate the camera, so the following Mondays when we were able to get it when the manager was present.
But you said the victim had seen it in between that?
Sometime over that weekend, yes, sir.
Okay. Were you able to collect it and preserve it?
Yes, sir. I do have a
Okay.
copy of it.
And were you able to eventually view it?
Yes, sir.
What did you see on the video?
On the video, it shows actually Mr. Ragsdale's in the store, Mr. Weaver's in the store. The video, they're not in there together making contact with each other. They're just both paying customers that go up to the register. It shows when Mr. Weaver goes outside and the altercation out in the parking lot. Mr. Weaver gets some paper towels, and it appears it's consistent with the story that he's trying to get Mr. Ragsdale to clean the spit off the vehicle. And then there's Mr. Weaver swings his bat and hits the side view mirror on the truck, and then they all get in their vehicles and just drive off.
Okay. Were you able to end up, like, the whole spit and blood, why is that even, why is that relevant to this case?
Several weeks prior to that incident taking place, Mr. Ragsdale accidentally shot himself. He shot himself in I believe in the lower chin, I think he lost a couple teeth and the bullet came out. So he still had gauze in his mouth and he was bleeding from that. That would have put the blood in the loogie that ended up on the driver's side door window.
Okay. Are you able to make out Mr. Ragsdale in the video?
When he's at the register, yes, and then the same clothing, you can see him out going towards the vehicle that he's sitting in.
And are you able to positively identify him to that video?
At the store, yes.
Do you see that person here in the courtroom?
There's Mr. Ragsdale right there in the red shirt.
Did you eventually make contact with Mr. Ragsdale?
I did not have contact with him until we took him into custody.
Or did he still have injuries from that gunshot wound? Or?
Yes, he still had gauze on his face.
Did he say anything?
Just that he didn't have anything to do with it.
Okay. All right. That's all I have, Judge.
Mr. McGowan, you may cross-examine.
Yes, sir, I am.
And his mouth at the time of the gas station incident, it was wired shut. It had,
I don't believe so.
you don't think so?
He's shaking his head no, so I'm going to agree with him no.
All right.
He was talking.
What's that?
He was talking when I talked to him on Monday, or whatever day it was. I spoke with him in person when we served the warrants.
That's how you remember it, right?
That's how
You remember him talking with no type of impediment at all?
Correct.
Okay. All right. And did he end up, this interview, was that after he got arrested?
Oh, yeah, it was while we were serving the warrant, yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
He was Mirandized, and then I asked him a couple questions, and it was
But you don't remember him having any problem at the time? talking to you?
speaking.
Yeah, speaking.
No, sir.
Okay. And briefly, the video that you watched from the store, he never got out of the vehicle, did he?
Yes,
Well,
he was in
sorry.
there was video of him in the, go ahead.
Let me rephrase that. That was kind of vague. After he exited the vehicle and got back into his truck, and Mr. Weaver approached his truck, he never got out of the vehicle at the gas station again.
After he was in the store and went back to the vehicle, no, sir, he did not get back out of the vehicle.
Other than the alleged spitting, the only person that, on the video, that seems to be
In the video,
violent is the victim in this case.
in the video, he is seen walking over to the driver's side window of the van.
Okay.
And then he gets back into his vehicle. It's a
Like-
distance where you cannot see the spit, but later it was recovered off the window.
So was that spit saved? I mean, there's
Yes,
a
sir.
DNA swab.
Yes, sir.
Have y'all sent that off for testing?
It's been sent off. I'm sure they're done with it by now, maybe. I'll have to
Okay.
check on that.
And you said that there was a slug that was recovered from inside the trailer,
Yes, sir.
and that was saved in evidence,
Yes.
and that's been sent off for ballistic
It's
testing.
been sent off, but it was too damaged to get anything from it.
And was that the complete slug, or was that shrapnel from a?
It was the lead portion of the slug, and it was damaged to where they couldn't even tell what the caliber was.
And you said there was another gunshot strike inside the trailer or
Inside of a tree.
inside of a tree?
Yes, sir.
So we have one in a tree, a strike in a tree, and a
Yes.
strike in the trailer.
Yes.
Find any others?
No, sir.
And how many shell casings did you find?
20.
How many?
20.
You found 20 shell casings
Yes,
at the scene?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And only 2 strikes?
Yes, sir.
And that it's your understanding that only one person was out in the front yard that could possibly identify people?
I was told that Mr. Weaver Jr. was on the front porch and Mr. Weaver Sr. was standing in the driveway. And I told you how the drive swoops around. You could see directly down to where the gate is from where his truck was parked. And he said he was at his tailgate of the truck when the incident began.
Well, Mr. Weaver Jr. never identified any specific individual, did he?
He identified the truck.
He identified the
As the
truck.
same truck from
Now,
the,
has Mr. Weaver Sr. identified any specific individual?
he identified Mr. Ragsdale.
Or was that in a photo lineup?
It wasn't on a lineup with me. It was on where the gas station allowed them to go look at the video over the weekend. And that's where I think they took a picture with their cell phone.
So the victim went and conducted an investigation at the gas station, looked at the photo at the gas station, and then
Yeah,
you were informed that he knows
they allowed him to look at the
who it
video.
was and where they live.
Yes, somewhat in that order, yes, sir.
And did he tell you who it was that told him the identity of the,
It
Mr.
was,
Ragsdale?
it was a female that they ran with. I don't remember.
you know her name?
I'm sure it's in my report, maybe. I think it's on Mr. Weaver Sr.'s written statement.
Now, there's been some testimony, and you heard this testimony. I know this has been an issue. You heard testimony from Mr. Weaver Jr. that he doesn't know Cody Ragsdale. This is the first time, October 20th was the first time that he'd ever seen him, in his understanding. You hear him say that? Did you hear Mr. Weaver Jr. say that?
Yes, I heard him say it.
Okay. And has your investigation revealed that that might not necessarily be true?
There was, from what I understand, there was maybe some type of an altercation that somewhere in the past, years ago, and that was just hearsay what I've heard.
But you didn't get that information from Mr. Weaver Jr. or Mr. Weaver Sr. or anyone from his family?
No, I think I got that from Cody.
From who?
Cody Ragsdale.
All right. And that altercation was what he described to you as an aggravated robbery. Something was taken from him at gunpoint, correct?
Yes. Well, not gunpoint. I think there was a taser involved.
Now, have you asked the Weavers about that?
Yes.
Okay. And they just denied that?
Yes.
And have they given you any kind of reasonable answer as to how it was that Mr. Ragsdale would know him and how he would know where he lived?
No, the area, they're both their residents are probably within a mile of each other. They probably frequent at Tuffy's. I don't know.
Or Mr. Ragsdale doesn't live within a mile of the Weavers, does he?
By the way, a crow flies probably pretty close to it.
How about now? Does he live there, close there now?
I don't know where Mr. Ragsdale lives now.
Okay. You know who he lives with?
I have no idea. He was living with his father at the time.
Haven't been keeping an eye on him?
No, sir.
Okay. Ballistics on the, there's been several guns recovered in all
Yes.
this. All right. Has the ballistics from any slug that was found inside the house or possibly in a tree, you just saw the strike in the tree, correct?
Yes.
So you only got one slug from the house?
Correct.
Partial slug.
Correct.
Has that matched in any gun that's been associated with?
The one that was recovered could not be identified. They don't actually use ballistics. They use the cartridges, the strike of how the hammer falls on the cartridges, and the bullets that were recovered and the two weapons I got, they're not matches.
Okay. They did not match.
No.
So any gun that has been associated with Mr. Ragsdale,
If you say any gun, the two guns that I was given, there's multiple guns and videos that I've never been allowed to see.
multiple guns and videos. So there's the video from the bowling alley, correct?
Yes.
No, we don't have any video from the bowling alley.
No,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're correct.
That wasn't a
You're-
trick question.
You're correct, right.
All right. There's the statement that he had a gun at the video. There's a statement that he had a gun at the bowling alley, correct?
Correct.
And then at some point, we don't know how long, later that night, he's pulled over on a traffic stop.
Correct.
And there's a gun recovered.
Correct.
Now, did any of the shell casings at the house match that gun?
Different caliber, from what I understand.
So you didn't, so no need to even test it, correct?
It wasn't my case, so
Okay. Well, that would help your case, would it not?
when I found out it was not the same caliber, there was no reason for me
Okay.
to go any farther with it.
And then, no, said the same guns in the video. There's no video from the trailer. They told you they didn't have any cameras, correct?
Correct.
And so there was, I guess, at some point, he was arrested on the warrant, and there were some guns seized from his house.
2 guns were given me from his house, yes. His father gave me 2.
Did he give those to you, or
His father did, yes.
his father did? Okay. Is that when he was being arrested, or?
Same day, yes,
Was
sir.
that part of an investigation leading?
Same day.
Same day, okay. And those 2 guns, are you saying don't match?
The
Sure.
strikes from those 2 guns do not match the strikes on the evidence that was picked up from the driveway.
No further questions.
Redirect? Thank you. Detective, you may step down. State have any other proof? State has rested their case on the motion. Mr. McGowan, do you have any proof you wish to offer?
Judge, I was thinking about calling I think most of the likelihood of conviction, maybe. I was going to ask him about his personal.
You want to put him on for that limited purpose, I'll allow it. All right. Bring your client around. Mr. Ragsdale, come forward, raise your right hand, let's place you under oath.
And I'll keep it very limited. Mr. Ragsdale, what is your physical address right now? Where do you live?
1159 on Highway 46 South, Dixon.
Okay. And who lives there with you at that residence?
My dad, and then my baby mama and kid.
Okay. And you said a kid. You're a kid?
Sir?
Does your dad have a significant other that lives there?
No.
Okay. And how old is your child?
She'll be 1 coming in March.
Okay. And do you work?
Yes, sir.
Do you provide support, financial support for help
Yes.
pay the bills, pay the
Yes.
groceries?
Yes.
Okay. And where do you work?
Sam Jordan Construction, LLC.
How often do you work?
Well, now lately, the past couple months, we ain't been working that much. He's still trying to find jobs to do.
All right.
This company's only been open a couple years.
But it's construction work, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that's been a little slow during the winter,
Yes, sir.
slower than what it is in the summer.
Yeah.
So were you busy this summer working?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is where you live now, is that within a mile of where these other folks live?
I assume so. South Bear Creek's right down the road.
Okay, so that's where you were living at the time this has happened.
Yes, sir.
No further questions.
Mr. Brooks, you have any questions on that issue? Thank you, Mr. Ragsdale. You may step down. Mr. McGowan, you have any other witnesses? No further witnesses. State have any rebuttal proof? I'll hear an argument.
Quickly, Judge, he was cited for simple possession. In September of 2024, he picks up these warrants for a shooting that had occurred, where there's compelling evidence that one did occur, and then he is one of the people that participated in said shooting. That happened in October 2024. And then the subsequent year, 2025, in February, there's another incident at the bowling alley where he is recklessly showing off firearms, placing people in fear. And that's corroborated by the subsequent contact with police where he just utters, is this about the incident at Thunder Alley? So he shows knowledge of what he's being stopped for right then and there. And then a subsequent firearm was located on his person. He has a trouble in abiding by the conditions of his release, and he is a danger to the community.
Mr. McGowan?
Your Honor, I know this is not a trial, and I'm not going to belabor and argue credibility of witnesses and/or lack of any kind of factual evidence. I know my client is wrong because he was apparently had a firearm, which he wasn't charged with, by the way, and he wasn't charged with the DUI. He was charged with simple possession and paraphernalia, and that's the indictment before this court. But I think there's some problems with the evidence in this case. I think there's going to be a lot of investigation that needs to be done. My client is young, but he is a father. He needs to be working. He lives with his dad. It's concerning to me. I didn't realize that they lived that close to one another. But I think the bond conditions can be amended to at least an extent to require maybe GPS monitoring or maybe even require him to live in a different place with his significant other and his small child. But he needs to be out working, and this bond condition or motion to revoke bond, I don't think was filed until October of 2025. The Thunder Alley happened in February of 2025, and then the original incident was in October 2024. And he's been to court. Can't tell you how many times he's been to court, but this is the first time that he's actually sat down in front of a judge, and we've actually taken proof. I think he understands. I think his record on bond reflects that he can abide by conditions of the bond without it being revoked and him sitting in jail. Thank you.
Well, I would disagree with that last statement, Mr. McGowan, respectfully, because you say that his record on bond indicates the condition. He applied with, the original charge was a possession charge and misdemeanors, and then he's been charged with the shooting incident, which is the much more serious situation because that involves reckless endangerment, aggravated assault, and so forth. And those are felonies. And then more concerning is this one, the docket number 2025 CR 82 from the February incident at Thunder Alley, where he has now been charged with aggravated assault, 2 counts of that, as well as the violation of the order of protection and resisting arrest. So the violation of the order of protection is certainly an indication that he is not likely to continue to abide by the terms of any kind of bond condition. Tennessee Code annotated 4011 141 subsection D provides that if after the defendant is released upon a personal recognizance, an unsecured personal appearance bond or any other bond approved by the court, the defendant violates the condition of the release, is charged with an offense committed during the defendant's release, or engages in conduct which results in obstruction of the orderly and expeditious progress of the trial or other proceeding, then the court may revoke and terminate the defendant's bond in order that the defendant be held without bail pending the trial or without release during trial. And this is the court's opinion based on the proof that has been offered to me. We're very lucky that there's not a homicide involved in this case. I suppose one thing I could say is that we're lucky that there's such bad shots. 20 shots that were fired, and only 2 struck some sort of an object. Those shots may have been intended to be not strike an object, but the fact that one of those shots went through a trailer and lodged inside the dwelling place is of great concern to the court, because it could have struck and killed a child, it could have struck and killed an individual. In any event, the more important thing is that the proof before the court today is that this Mr. Ragsdale didn't learn his lesson from being arrested on those charges, and was aware of the fact that he had multiple aggravated assault charges pending, and still went into Thunder Alley, an area that serves alcohol on a regular basis, and demonstrated that he carried a weapon on his person. And the only reason to show that weapon was to threaten someone. And as a result of that, it is this court's opinion that the evidence has established that under 40-11-141, his bond should be revoked. So I'll revoke his bond and order that he be held pending. I agree that he's a father. He should be working. He should be doing all of those things. He shouldn't be doing what he's charged with. Shouldn't be carrying a weapon around to a place like that and showing other individuals. And the proof so far, at least by the standard I'm required to on this hearing, is that he did in fact engage in that conduct. So this court revokes his bond and orders that he be. Does he have a trial date yet? All right. Then I will let you set it with Judge Wallace. So. All right. So this next court date is February 11th.
We're on the record the matter of Daniel Shipman versus Samantha Baker and Johnny Lopez, 2502224. And Mr. Shipman, your name for the record, please.
Daniel Shipman.
Is it Shipman or Shipman?
Shipman, Shipman.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. All right, Ms. Baker, your name for the record, please. I need you to unmute, please. Ms. Baker?
Yes, Samantha
Your name?
Baker. I'm sorry,
Thank
I'm
you.
trying to figure out this.
Okay. And Mr. Lopez, your name for the record, please.
Johnny Lopez?
Okay. And you're in a vehicle, but you're not driving. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, correct. I'm sitting at work right now.
Okay, very good. Okay, I'm going to have you all please raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Mr. Shipman?
I do.
Is your right hand raised,
I
Mr.
do,
Shipman?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
Baker
Yes, ma'am.
and Mr. Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Shipman, I understand that you claim that you've hired an attorney. What is your attorney's name?
My attorney's name is Helen Harkness.
Who? You broke up. I couldn't
Helen, Cullen.
Sir,
Yeah.
your connection is spotty. So it's,
Harkness,
sir, excuse me. Your connection is spotty, so I'm not getting the majority of what you're saying. So can you please try to repeat that?
Cullen Harkness, Harkness.
Okay. And so when did you retain this attorney?
I believe it was shortly after, I think the day I filed paperwork with the court, I mailed him the, I exchanged emails with him.
Okay, because this attorney has not filed an appearance, so therefore we're proceeding without an attorney, without an attorney. Because we didn't even get the, so then we had a phone call this morning that alleged that they were the attorney, but didn't give a name, provide a name or otherwise. Was that you that called or was that your attorney?
No, I called this morning and I asked for an adjournment. I identified as myself and told the court that the officer that that there was a scheduling conflict with my attorney, and he was not going to be able to make it this morning.
Okay. So, well, your attorney has not filed an appearance, so we're going to proceed. Mr. Lopez, you're the owner, or Mr. Shipman, you're the owner of the property?
I am, Your Honor.
And Ms. Baker, Mr. Lopez reside there, correct?
That is correct.
And how long have they resided there?
I don't have all of the paperwork in front of me. My apologies. I was planning on my lawyer as the sole individual attending this morning. But I believe their tenancy started approximately last April of 25.
This started in March.
25?
I believe in March or February, yes.
Okay. Ms. Baker, do you have a different date?
No, ma'am, it would be March or February.
Okay, so just under a year. Okay, and so Mr. Shipman, what is the reason that you're requesting the tenants relocate?
Well, there's a few underlying issues that have some become chronic and one acute. The first is
Mr. Shipman, I'm not sure where you're
Yes, ma'am.
located, but I'm missing a lot of words from what you're saying.
Sorry, ma'am. I'll try to move closer to a window. I hope you can hear me better now.
So far, yes.
Okay, so there's a few underlying issues, a couple of chronic and one acute. So first, these individuals have been paying late. They paid in 2025 August, September, October, November, and December, all late. The first 2 months that they paid late, I didn't charge them any arrears. The next, following that, I did. They continued to pay late fees for the first 2 times that they paid. And then in the last couple of months, I have it outlined in the complaint, the months specifically that they didn't pay any late fees. I began accruing those, and I've always been pretty good about serving them notices.
Hold on, sir. Okay, so you say when is rent due?
Rent is due on the first of the month.
And when has rent been paid?
Rent has consistently been paid on the 8th of the month.
On the 8th of the month, okay?
Excuse me, the 9th of the month, You're on.
9th of the month, okay? And how much do you charge for a late fee, sir?
$10 a day.
Is there a cap?
No.
So if somebody doesn't pay until
I
the
do.
30th, if somebody doesn't pay until the 30th, you charge them $300 for a late fee?
Yes, but I typically, I don't think I've ever gotten to that point. I freeze.
Well, that doesn't matter, sir.
I
So
freeze
because,
the
hold
late
on,
fees
there
when-
needs to be, the late fee has to be reasonable. And so you're charging $90 for a late fee if it's paid after the 1st and they don't pay it till the 9th, correct?
I'm charging, well, I serve the notice on the 2nd, which is a 7-day notice, and they have paid on the 9th, so it's $80, I believe.
Okay, so that's not my question. If they don't pay on the 1st, then on the 2nd, Mr. Lopez, I'll get to you in just one moment. On the 2nd, it's $10. The 3rd, it's $10. The 4th, it's $10. It's $10 until they pay it.
That is correct.
Okay, well, the court finds that that's an excessive late fee depending on how long it is. There needs to be a cap, sir. So if you want it to be $10 a day, then there has to be a max of $50, $60, $75, whatever it may be. But to have it go on $10 a day without a cap, the court does not find that that's reasonable. Okay, so that's one issue, but they've been paying them just late. on the 9th. And I'm going to presume that I'm going to hear something from Mr. Lopez that that's in line with what his paychecks are, but I'm going to hear that in just a moment. So what's the next issue?
So the next issue is that we have trash receptacles around the house. I pay for trash removal. 2 bins, one for each of the tenants' households.
Sir, Mr.
So
Shipman, I need you to turn on your camera, please.
I tried, Drew. Oh, sorry. Is that better?
Okay, so trash receptacles. What about the trash receptacles?
So they are supposed to be held at the rear of the building. The tenants, and so I take care of the yard work at that particular house. They have continuously put them in the front of the building where they're not supposed to be. It's getting garbage all over the yard of my property as well as the neighbor's property. He's complained to me on several occasions. I approached Johnny. I mowed the yard, and then directly after I mowed the yard and took the trash receptacles to the rear of the property, he dragged them back to the front. So I confronted Mr. Lopez and asked him to take them to the back of the property. An argument ensued. He didn't think that he needed to. And I, told him that it was on the lease. And again, an argument ensued. I served him with a notice for hazard, and it still has not been addressed. I've been at the property several occasions, and it's again not addressed. So that's a secondary issue, and then the third issue is, again, they live in a duplex, and I was approached from the other individual that lives in the other unit. And he has been having issues with noise, and so both units have been kind of going back and forth. Apparently, they had some dispute about parking in the front of the building. It is common street parking, and there are no reserved spots. Apparently, the other tenant alleges that at one point in time, Mr. Lopez got up on his hood of his vehicle.
Well, hold on. No, I'm not going to have you tell me what somebody else said. What is your other tenant's name, sir?
My other tenant's name is Kyle Shimkus, Shimkus. What I did see, Your Honor.
Is Kyle Kyle?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so let's presume that the court's not going to find that that there is an issue regarding the trash cans and the rent. You want these tenants to leave because your other tenant told you that there's noise and that they don't get along, pretty much, correct?
Ma'am, I saw a video of this tenant threatening to take a baseball bat to the other tenants.
Sir, you cannot, sir, I just said, you cannot tell me what anybody else said. Then I need to see the video. Where's the video?
I was unaware that would be needed today.
Sir, if you're relying upon that as evidence, then I would need to see that video. Mr. Lopez. Okay, let's talk about the payment of the rent.
Okay, we'll start off with that. So regarding the rent, on the 2nd, we got sent a letter that we had 7 days to pay our normal $1,300 of
Hold
rent.
on, excuse me, just a moment. My question is, when do you make your rent payments?
Between the 1st and the 9th. For the past few months, yes.
And so why do you not pay it on the 1st, sir?
Well, there's a few situations that happened to where I didn't get paid into the second, or we were just gonna pay the late fee because we couldn't get to the store to get our money order, or we didn't put the money into the bank yet to send the money to them.
So have you
But,
communicated with Mr. Shipman about adjusting the due date based upon your paycheck?
we have told him on several occasions that we would have the rent for him the next day or on a certain date or a certain day.
That
We do
wasn't my
have,
question. That
yes.
wasn't my question. My question was, did you have a conversation with Mr. Shipman regarding adjusting the due date for your rent based upon your paycheck? Did
No.
you have that conversation?
No.
Okay. So you've been paying your rent, albeit late. Have you been paying the late fees?
Yes, we were paying the late fees
Until
starting
when?
until I want to say October. That is when the month where he started to send us a notification on the 2nd that we had until the 9th to pay the regular amount of $1,300 by the 9th.
Without the late fees?
No late fees. It's all in our emails. We have a document.
Okay, great. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have you all come back next Friday in person because I want to be able to review these emails, see any videos or otherwise. Any witnesses you want to testify need to be with you, as well as any other evidence you want this court to review.
Okay.
And as far as bringing my lawyer, Your Honor,
What's that, sir?
as far as bringing my lawyer,
Well, your lawyer will have to file an appearance. He knows that. So if he files an appearance, he can appear. If he doesn't file an appearance, he can't appear on the record. He can come in person, but he can't appear on your behalf on the record if he does not file an appearance.
Your Honor?
is he allowed to go via Zoom, Your Honor?
No, I just said in person, Mr. Shipman. Just one moment. Yes, Ms. Baker?
I just wanted to make it known that originally we did not sign the lease until the 12th of the month. So technically on our lease, it's stating that our lease has started on the 12th, meaning rent would be due on the 12th. And we don't have any receipts of anything stating otherwise.
No, we can go through this at some other point, Your Honor,
Shipman,
next Friday.
sorry, I run this court, not you. You're not telling anybody when we're going through anything. Is that clear?
Yes. Yes,
Ms.
Your Honor.
Baker, where on the lease are you referring to that it starts on the 12th for rent?
When it says the date that we signed, the day we signed the lease is the day that we moved in.
Okay, my question is where on the lease does it indicate that the rent is not due until the 12th?
It does not say anywhere when it's due on the lease. I'm just stating that the only thing it says about when rent is due is the day that we signed, which was on the 12th.
Okay, well, the rent, it says the tenant will pay the rent on or before the first of each and every month of this term of this lease to the landlord. It does not indicate anything about the date that your lease starts. Was your first month prorated if you didn't move in on the first?
Yes.
Okay. Now, is there a grace period in here for rent, Mr.
There is
Shipman?
none.
No. Sorry if you didn't hear me, Your Honor. I said no.
No, I heard you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Shipman, where in the lease does it refer to the trash receptacles? What page?
No.
It's under, I believe it's under just one of the clauses under common use and cleanliness, Your Honor.
Under what?
Under cleanliness. I don't have the lease in front of me again.
Cleanliness? Let me see here. Okay, I don't show any clause that says cleanliness.
I'm certain there is something in there that indicates that they have to maintain the property and maintain certain levels of cleanliness, Your Honor. I forget exactly where it is.
Your Honor, I've read over the lease several times and there's nothing in there referring to the location of trash receptacles. Also, in reference to that, about 5 or 6 of my neighbors on the same block of my neighborhood have their trash receptacles in front of their yard as well.
Okay, well, sir, what other neighbors do with their receptacles is irrelevant, quite frankly. It's not as though excuse me, I'm still speaking. It's not as though you received a ticket for having your receptacle in the front. That's not the issue here. So, but sir, you have in your lease that if the property is unoccupied for a period of 4 consecutive days or longer, the tenant will arrange for regular inspection by a competent person. So are you telling me, sir, that if they're on vacation for 7 days, they have to have an inspection done on the property?
I don't think that I would ever enforce that. Again, Your Honor, I don't
You have it in your lease.
Certain I'm not the author of the lease.
Sir, you're the landlord. You put this lease forward to your tenants.
We were told that it was written by him.
So, sir, it says here, number 32, the parties will comply with standards of health, sanitation, fire, housing, and safety as required by law. I do not see anything. And then it also says the tenant will obey all rules and regulations of the landlord regarding the property. Did you give them a separate written rules and regulations of the landlord, sir?
Your Honor, I told them verbally on several occasions that this was not the trash.
That's all my question is, did you give them a written list of your rules and regulations?
I did not.
Okay, well, that's a problem, sir, because then that means that your rules and regulations can be fluid, and then it's difficult for anybody to follow those rules and regulations. So you testified that it was in the lease that they had to leave the trash receptacles in the back. And I have yet to find that in this lease.
Your Honor, that's not called out in the lease specifically because again, it's that is a rule that I would just enforce by telling people verbally where things belong.
If that's a rule and regulation, it must be in writing before it can be enforced. Otherwise, it's fluid. And there's not a written, so if you prefer that something occurs at the property on the outside, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a rule or regulation. You specifically refer to rules and regulations by the landlord. Then you need to spell those out clearly so there is not a question as to what the rules and regulations are for certain aspects of the property. So what is this noise? When did the noise complaint start, Mr. Shipman?
Very shortly after the upstairs tenant moved in.
When did the upstairs tenant move in?
I think April or May.
So as soon as the upstairs tenant moved in, then the upstairs tenant started complaining about noise from the downstairs tenant.
Yes, ma'am. Apparently they were following. Apparently they were using a broom. Apparently the Johnny Lopez or Samantha Baker were beating on the ceiling of the apartment with a broom whenever they would hear Mr. Shimkus's children walking or running around upstairs.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that both tenants have families. So the upstairs tenant has kids. The downstairs tenant at least has one little baby right there. Ma'am, please stop walking around if you can help it. And so there's clearly going to be noise between both units. So, everybody's going to be in person January 20th at 10:30 in person. Bring any evidence or witnesses that you need to bring. And let me just be very clear, Mr. Shipman. If you are relying on information from Mr. Shimkus, then Mr. Shimkus must be present. I'm not here. You won't be able to admit any of his statements. That's called hearsay. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll see you all back in person January 20th at 10:30 a.m. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Off the record.
Okay, on the record in the matter of this people of the state of Michigan versus Adrian Lamont Johnson, 25-03782. Appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Adam Pfeiffer on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jacob Starks, the fourth Assistant Public Defender here on behalf of Adrian Johnson. He's standing to my right at counsel table.
Thank you. Today was the date that we reset this. This was the originally set date actually for preliminary examination. However, the court did receive a formal request for a PA 53 violation on the 6th regarding unauthorized phone calls and video calls to the protected person, Randy Crawford, which technically the court did already arraign Mr. Johnson on. So a court will enter a not guilty plea on those violations. My understanding is that there's been an investigator already assigned and that they're currently working on the discovery as it relates to that. The court did receive, however, and I think there were some emails between the prosecutor and the court administrator's office earlier this week in reference to a request for supplemental ADA accommodations for upcoming proceedings. Is Brandy Crawford Johnson present?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, you did file a request, and you can come and sit here for the purposes of if I need you to respond on this record in the witness box here. Okay, so the court received a request for ADA accommodations. This was after the court had advised you last week that you should get an attorney based on an affidavit and some statements that you made on this record that could implicate you for perjury and malicious prosecution claims, which are criminal actions. So the court has requested that you seek counsel, and my understanding is that you were not eligible for the public defender's office, but you've not hired an attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, I did apply for the public defender's office. I also appealed when they denied me, and then they called me and told me that even though I pay my own rent and pay the rent for my son, who's a senior at Michigan State, and I only receive disability benefits from the Veteran Affairs Office, I think it was just barely, I didn't qualify. And I called probably about 15 different defense attorneys, and I couldn't afford any of them.
Okay, so with that being stated, you don't intend to hire an attorney, you intend to represent yourself or your own interest, even in the statements that you represented to the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you understand that there's a risk of putting yourself into a situation where you could be facing perjury charges.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh. The court wants to also address your request for ADA accommodations, you said, based on a panic PTSD symptom management. You're requesting permission to take breaks as needed if panic or disassociative symptoms escalate. By nature of how we run the court, if there's a situation where you need to take a break, the court always grants breaks. So that's not something that needs to be requested or specially implemented. You request ability to pause a testimony briefly for grounding before answering questions. I don't know what that means. Grounding?
Yeah, it just means that sometimes I have to calm down. I'm on Klonopin medication for PTSD.
Okay, we don't rush you, so that you don't need to request that. So you can breathe or take your time whenever you are getting ready to answer a question.
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Access to water at all times. Water is available. Did you bring water?
No, I did not.
Okay, so how do you think you're gonna have access to all times? If you think I'm gonna get you the water?
AP Pfeiffer said I would be have it
There's
available.
that we can get you what we give the jury. It's a very small bottle of water, but you're more than welcome to bring all the water that you need. If your ADA requires you to have access to water, I would have imagined you would have brought water with you.
That was just part of a request in case, you know, how long it takes.
We can get you water, but this is the size of the bottle. Okay. So if you need any more water than that, it's best that you bring a water bottle. That's why I have this one. Okay. Permission to remain seated. You will be seated at all times during your testimony and under oath. It says questions to be asked one at a time. For the rules of evidence, you can't. They can't ask compound questions, so you don't need to make a request for that because they're not allowed to ask compound questions. If there was a compound question, there would be an objection probably by somebody. No yelling, raised voices, or hostile or intimidating tone directed at me. I don't know what you mean.
What I mean by that, Your Honor, is I felt that AP Pfeiffer had that type of tone with me at the last conference. And my son had to watch on YouTube when the conference was over, where AP Pfeiffer called me crazy. And I have post-traumatic stress disorder, and that definitely put me over the edge. Where
Your son had to watch, you said?
No, my son, he watched it. He watched because he knows your hearings are on YouTube, and he watched it. And then I didn't want to watch it because I've already been in, you know, mental health crisis for a couple of months now. And I felt it was very unprofessional and against ADA law too.
What does ADA law prohibits someone from yelling or raising their voice?
Calling someone crazy at the post-traumatic stress disorder.
I don't recall in my proceedings, Mr. Pfeiffer or anyone calling you crazy. That's number one. Number two, your request you're saying these are ADA requests. Asking for no yelling, raised voices, hostile or intimidating tone in a courtroom. First of all, some of it's relative. And what's intimidating to one person is not what's intimidating to another. What is I could be considered yelling right now, but I have to be assertive and I got to make sure my voice carries. And I also give instruction to anybody who testifies here to make sure their voice carries. And I've heard Mr. Pfeiffer give curative instructions to people that I want you to speak like you're talking to the person way over there. And so you're not going to be able to control either of their tone or the volume of anyone's voice when they're asking you a question. That's not an ADA requirement. It's not protected under ADA either. Okay? You're asking for court intervention if question becomes adversarial, aggressive, or re-traumatizing. I don't know what is traumatizing to you or re-traumatizing. The court will not put themselves in a position where they have to figure out what might be traumatizing you. My job is to make sure that they follow the court rules. If there's questions that are argumentative, that's against the court rules. Or if there's an objection, then that's when the court will intervene by the nature of a violation of the court rules. But when it comes to just asking questions that you don't like, you still have to answer them. You understand that?
Yeah.
Ability to request clarification of questions, you absolutely can request. I usually give that instruction when I swear a witness is in. If you don't understand the question, you just ask for clarification. And sometimes it could be that they just need to rephrase the way it was stated. Prohibition on threats of criminal exposure. Absolutely not. You must be advised that you could face, some criminal exposure by some of the things, especially under your circumstances. And never have I seen anyone so adamant that they want to produce documents to the court directly and on the record that could put them at risk for criminal exposure. And that's what we have here, which is why you were advised that you should get an attorney.
Yeah, Your Honor, the clerk was the one that told me that I had to serve that, right? So
The clerk cannot tell you that you need to serve anything. You've probably called the clerk to find out how to get something to the judge. So that was on you. You can't blame it now on the clerk that you sent an affidavit admitting to perjury.
Okay, I don't believe I was admitting to perjury, but I understand.
Okay. And then let's see. You asked for acknowledgement on the record that I am a witness with PTSD. I don't know how you expect that to be acknowledged. You're only allowed to answer the questions that are asked. And so if that's asked of you, that's fine, to the extent that it may or may not be relevant to the information being brought forth. But but the court won't be making any acknowledgments that on the record. And you're talking to me, and I already have been advised that you have PTSD. So
Yeah,
I'm the only one.
PTSD and panic disorder.
Yeah, so that's fine. You let the court know. I'm the only one making a decision in this matter. This is not a jury trial, so you don't need to make an acknowledgement to anyone other than me, and I've already been advised. Okay. Assurance that accommodations will not be used to assess credibility. That's not an ADA protection that none of these things that you're talking about are ADA protections.
I was given the list
from who?
Sorry.
Who gave you this list?
From one of the officials that I talked to.
What's the official's name?
I'm not sure. I don't have it with me right now.
Okay, these are not ADA requirements.
Okay.
These are some things that you might like, but in this particular situation, I'm the one that assesses credibility. No one else is assessing credibility, just me. Okay. No negative inference drawn from emotional responses, pauses, or needs for breaks. I don't know what that means. If you're talking about how we determine credibility, there's a lot of mechanisms used to determine credibility. You won't be able to control that. Okay.
I guess I should have rephrased that better. I just would ask Your Honor to take in consideration that I've been in an active mental health crisis for a few months now since my father passed away and everything else I'm dealing with.
No, I can imagine, and to the extent that you need, some pauses, or that you need a break, or that you're emotional, the court does not typically just make a negative inference of that, other than the fact that you are emotional.
Yes,
So let's see. Ability to submit brief written clarification if testimony is interrupted by symptoms. You are not allowed to submit written communication or clarification of testimony. Testimony is done here in court verbally and on the record. That's why I asked what official gave you this information, because we need to contact them, because this is not information that should be disseminated to people.
Your Honor, I'm a plaintiff in several civil cases right now, so the rules are a lot different. I've never been.
The rules are a lot different than what?
Where I can submit things, say things. So I'm just not familiar with the criminal court.
You know that I do civil matters as well.
No, I did not.
Yeah, we do civil and criminal here. So I'm very familiar with the civil rules. So that's why I'm asking you, what about this makes you think that this is appropriate, and even in civil court?
To have ADA accommodation?
These are not ADA accommodations.
These are, repeat the question, I'm sorry.
These are yours. I asked for the person who gave you this list because we need to ensure that this is not being disseminated for people to believe that these are reasonable requests. There's civil or criminal. Your testimony is on the record under oath, in person, not in writing.
Okay, I understand.
Scheduling and environment. Testimony scheduled earlier in the day when possible. The testimony will take place whenever the court's able to get it taken.
It was a list, I'm sorry. Those weren't all just my...
Limitation on the length of continuous testimony. We will not limit the testimony. You ask the questions. Sometimes cross-examines and direct examinations take longer than others. I have no control. I don't know what their questions are. I don't know anything about the evidence. And now we have a bond violation, so that could take even longer. I can't limit that. The only thing I can do is give you breaks as needed.
Thank you.
Let's see. Quiet area away from the opposing parties. You're looking for a quiet area away from the defendant.
No, that was on the list.
Okay, permission to leave promptly after testimony concludes. So once you're finished with your testimony, I usually ask the attorneys if you're free to be excused. they'll let me know if you can be excused or not, okay? If you're not able to be excused, there may be a circumstance where we'll put you in a private room.
Thank you.
And then you're asking for confirmation that ADA accommodations will be implemented and enforced to the extent that you needed ADA accommodations in the court. The hearing aid, ability to, get your mobile device in here. Some of those things that we would make sure that happened. These things that I have here are not ADA accommodation or requests that are protected by ADA, I should say.
Okay.
Assurance that the requesting accommodations will not result in retaliation or prejudice. I'm the only one making the determination here. I'm taking the time to go through these one by one with you, so that you are clear. Whoever gave you this list should have been clear that these are things that you can maybe request, but they're not protected under ADA.
That's right.
And then accommodations to be memorialized on the record, which we've done. And so, did you have any questions about this?
No, I would just request that whenever, if you have time, to review the January 2nd conference where I was attending, and where everyone had left the room, and it was just you and Assistant Attorney Pfeiffer in the courtroom, and that is where you could see it on YouTube where he called me crazy.
Okay, I will review whatever it is that you're requesting me to review. Again, you're not looking to hire an attorney to represent you?
I tried to, and I just couldn't afford when I was denied public defender.
Okay, my other concern is that I believe there was some level of request that you were asking to retract something that's out of the court record. You don't have the ability to retract anything that you filed with the court.
Okay.
Okay, so that will be, whatever you filed with the court will remain as part of the court file.
I was just told that by Attorney Pfeiffer that no one could accept it except the detective, so the detective has it.
I'm not sure what you're referencing.
He said that he cannot accept any affidavits or clarifications, and the defense attorney cannot, and the judge cannot. So he said that I have to submit it through Detective Kennedy.
Right, correct. So you can be in contact with Detective Kennedy. I don't know if she's here today or not. But that's your best bet, is to be in contact with her and provide her with any information.
I did.
Okay, very good. And so if you don't have any other questions, I'm gonna let you go back down to sit, because I believe we need to address the timeline here for the exam, because I don't believe that the exam can go today because the detective is still working on the evidence, correct?
Yes, there's one other, again, nuts and bolts issue for the record. As one of the emails from Ms. Crawford said that she was advised that she did not need an attorney. I just want to make a clear record that it wasn't the public defender's office who advised you of that, right? They didn't say you don't need an attorney. Correct?
No.
Okay, perfect.
Who advised you that you did not need an attorney here?
Pretty much every attorney that I called that was too expensive. They said that witnesses, you normally do not require an attorney unless there's a charge.
That's valid.
Yeah.
If they would say that, unless you told them about the affidavit you sent for.
Yeah, I told them everything. They just said that they don't even accept clients unless they have a charge.
They don't accept clients unless they have a charge?
Unless there's a charge. Most of them didn't even know what a conflict attorney was when I asked.
It must
them.
not be criminal attorneys.
They were.
It doesn't make sense. I have a criminal attorney sitting right there. Are you familiar with the conflict counsel?
Yes.
Because you are a conflict counsel often, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
You represent me then? Because I've asked everybody I could.
And so, yeah, I don't know if you've been calling criminal. The conflict counsel is quite common.
I have.
And then there's a lot of times your witnesses have to have an attorney to protect them from, saying something on the record or even questions that could, be self-incriminating.
Mm-hmm.
You understand your right against self-incrimination.
Yes, I tried. Yeah, I tried. I called a lot of them, and most of them wanted $5,000 to $10,000 down just for 1 hour.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah.
And for a retainer, but
I have a son that goes to Michigan State, and I have my own bills, so I have no way to afford it.
I can imagine. I recognize that you're strapped, but the court has done with the best that they can do. I can't make the public defender take the case,
right?
And I can't make you get an attorney. That I can only give you an opportunity to do that to protect yourself. Okay. So we're going to have to move forward with this case either way. Let me get you. You can go have a seat, though. Thank you, ma'am. Let's see. What do we know a timeline of when the detective could have this done?
I think 2 weeks would probably be the earliest. There's a good number of calls to go through.
Ma'am, you're raising your hand.
Yes, may I say something else? About Detective Kennedy. I called the Lansing Police Department and did a FOIA request for the police records. There's 2 different police reports, and they both told me that both police reports are closed and they'll be getting me the FOIA request today.
I'm sorry, what police report are you looking for?
There's a police report from the day that Adrian was arrested, and there was a police report in where I spoke with Detective Kennedy, and both of those reports have been closed.
February 19th at 9:30 work?
Your Honor, if I may just briefly just state for the record that Mr. Adrian Johnson is not stipulating to this request for adjournment, Your Honor. He is preserving his rights to have his examination within 21 days. And respectfully, if the people are unable to proceed today, Mr. Johnston would request a dismissal at this time. I just want to make sure that the record is very
Yeah, I
clear.
agree. I'm going to make the record very clear too, because we addressed this last week. The reason why we have to have a delay is because there's been allegations of possible witness tampering. And how many alleged phone calls?
It was a good number. I just don't have
On a recorded line from the jail to the victim. So he doesn't have to stipulate because he has a bond violation from recorded calls. So the court's going to find good cause because I got to run all of this before I can run the exam. I got to address the bond issue.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
You have your hand up, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I called the Union County Jail and talked to Deputy Weller. And I asked him if Adrian made any calls the morning of the conference. He said Adrian did not. And I asked him if he's made any calls to my phone number at all.
What do you want me to do with this information? Because this is called hearsay.
Okay.
And you're not even on the record. So what do you want me to do with it?
I just want you to know that he's never called my phone number.
I can't know it unless the person you talk to is subpoenaed in here under oath and questioned. That's the only way I can know.
I think he should be a witness. So.
Well, I don't think the witnesses. Any other matters? For the record, the court's finding good cause to go beyond the 21 days.
No, Your Honor. Nothing else for the record.
February 19th at 9:30 works for you, counsel?
Thank you, Your Honor. I certainly, with the matter being under investigation, I will abstain from any further arguments about bond at this time, but I will request an opportunity to respond upon conclusion of the proceedings on the 19th.
Very good. Thank you. Bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Morning, Judge.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. You first to handle, this is Christopher Harris.
Yes, Your Honor.
And
I filed a motion requesting a bond. He's on a deferred educated probation.
what is this?
That's a new,
This file.
that's a new case.
I thought this looks like a new case.
No, this is the MTRP.
I know it is.
Yeah.
But where's the cover? I mean, where's the normal
Judge,
jacket?
remember the district clerk's office is no longer providing
That
us
is mine.
files, so we had to purchase our own files.
So
And those are the
purchase these?
those are very expensive, Judge.
They're what?
They're very expensive and we didn't have money in
The
the.
defense attorneys pay for it. They're very expensive. They're very well.
These were the ones we could afford, Judge.
Okay.
Spending on this.
Well, we're gonna write on, then what we'll do is we'll write on it.
Have it on.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. But that's the first time I've seen that one.
Yeah.
That's the first time.
Applying for just outside of the budget.
I've got 25 CR 75, which is a motion to revoke probation. And are you Christopher Harris?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. You were placed on probation May 29th. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm speaking.
Yes, sir.
And then this alleges that 5 months later, you've committed another crime according to this indictment. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that right?
Yes,
That's what you understand? Okay. Plus, it looks like let's see, evading arrest. Terroristic threat, no. Burglary of a habitation. Failing to perform community service, being at a location after the curfew. Failing to pay assessed fees. What else can go wrong? And then this is a new third degree felony. So you're on probation. This court allowed you deferred or unadjudicated probation on May 29th. And just a few months later, here we are again. And what are you asking?
Yeah, I'm asking that a bond be set on it's our understanding the terroristic threat and the burglary, our understanding is that we don't anticipate those cases to be filed because he was residing at the home. But we will need to address the evading at a later date, but we are requesting a bond.
So what were you saying about he lives where?
He was residing at the home where they're alleging the burglary.
Which is where?
With his girlfriend.
Which is what?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the number, but it's a big pass.
You don't even know the number.
It just moved there.
Yeah, I thought you were living at LaSalle.
Yeah, I live on 46 LaSalle, but we.
Okay, how many places do you live at?
We'll spend nights at her house and she'll spend nights at my house. So when we was together.
Does a probation know he was moving around? He had different residents? You didn't even know that? Thanks. You're on my watch. And you're doing your own thing. You're on your rules. You do it the way you want to do it. You're under the directions of this court. Do you understand that? Speak.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You're looking at 20 years in prison. You want to flirt with that by acting irresponsibly?
So,
yeah, you do. So we're judged by the actions, not the talk. Anybody can talk. It's the actions, what speak loudly.
Yeah.
Oh, there are six violations here alleged. What state say?
Your Honor, he's on there for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Mhm.
He wasn't on there long, so we would ask the court to, if it allows a bond to make it sufficiently high, to request $250,000.
And Your Honor, obviously that we would ask that it be lower than that. Mr. Harris is employed with the McDermott plant and Sabine Pass. And if there would be any conditions as far as any monitoring that the court would need, and we would ask that that be set, but
All right, here's what we're going to do. It's going to be $100,000. He's going to be, he can't have any contact with the complainant. He is going to have a GPS device, so I know where he is at all time. He can't leave his house, which is not going to be at this location. You're not going to stay at this location on Alabama. You understand?
Sabine Pass.
Is it Sabine Pass?
Yes.
Planting location, the call to Alabama is where they located his location, where he was.
Which report are you reading, John?
Probable cause affidavit.
Which? For the
This is the one. This is the one that is dated for. I'm just looking at it for his address. This is the one that was dated for the original case that he was put on probation for.
Well, the address in which the burglary was related was 2781 Sabine Pass Avenue.
You can't stay there. Then we understood that you were living at LaSalle. At least that's where you're.
Yeah, that's my search.
In fact, this is what's ironic is the bondsman that posted your bond on 11/17, November 7th, the day after this, states your principal address is 460 LaSalle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's where it better be. Because this was something sent to this court for us to rely on that's under oath.
Yeah.
So it's $100,000. You must stay at home. You can only go to and from work in the most direct route possible, to and from medical in the most direct route possible, and to and from food, acquiring food. You have no contact with the person involved in this allegation of November 16th. And we will have a hearing as soon as possible on this. When can y'all be ready?
Within probably 2 weeks, Your Honor.
I'll give you 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
We're going to have a hearing on this in 3 weeks.
Okay.
And concerned about this allegation of a terroristic threat that was alleged in the motion to revoke probation.
We weren't aware of any, because he was never in terrorist threat. I wasn't aware of it.
So they've alleged it, right? They must have been here. Well, the same event. That's
We're not aware.
We don't have any.
We don't file the motion.
It's
It says it in there.
shouldn't be in there, Your Honor. I'll,
File.
yeah, we don't have that on there. I'll abandon that. That's what we have is the evading with a vehicle.
The probable cause affidavit for the underlying offense that he was placed on probation for. This is an event that happened last December a year ago. And that's what somebody must have placed in the motion. Because it is terrorism. It is stating that he had a gun, had 2 bodies already. And he had pointed a gun at the victim's head. And all right. Set this for hearing in 3 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. That's on the motion to revoke.
And that is all for the court gallery. What can I say, ladies and gentlemen? It's been a day. The kitty overlord has been busy, and so have I. Hope you've enjoyed the selections I've put together for you today. I have a lot more in the vault, and I'll have a lot more coming out in the days to come. So keep an eye out. We may have some premieres. Heck, I may even go live again. I don't know. It depends on how I'm feeling, how crazy I'm feeling. I have a Rossi that is over an hour long, and I feel like we all might like to get together and watch that one together because it's Rossi, right? Right. Anyway, I am your humble host for these here get-togethers, and I'm your curator for this here channel at the Court Gallery. And I'll be seeing you next time. Come by every night of the week. You know, the same wolf time, same wolf channel. I'm not going to go over it every single time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. I'm your lone wolf Usul. I'll see you later. It's been a pleasure. I am out. Have a great weekend. keep you informed, Marty. Like and subscribe. You'll get the notifications when they come out, right? That's information. You know. Do the things we always do. It'll be a surprise. Everybody likes a surprise, right? Yeah. What's that? Oh, happy birthday, Shiloh. I don't think I even said happy birthday up to that. Hey, and we have other birthdays that are out there, and I didn't say anything about those either. Happy birthday, all the birthday peoples. I know. When you're subscribed and you've liked and you've hit the bell and all that type of stuff, sometimes it just doesn't work, does it, Marty? YouTube, fix your stuff, please. We're all angry about it. By the way, thank you so much, Barry. Twice over. Your contributions are never missed. And Zach. That was weird. Well, somebody asked for a howl earlier. You got a howl. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. Have a great one. I need to be unmuted for this. I was thinking last night, is the Ferris Bueller Day Off end screen thingamajiggy the first ever? It's something that it's something that needs researching. It definitely is. It's an interesting question. Now go away. There's nothing else to see here. Bye. I'm done. No more.